بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد، سئل فضيلة الشيخ يقول السائل: إذا زاد الإمام ركعة واعتديت بها وأنا مسبوق فهل صلاتي صحيحة؟ وما الحكم إذا لم أعتد بها وزادت كذا ركعة؟ فأجاب بقوله: القول الصحيح أن صلاتك صحيحة لأنك صليتها تامة، وزيادة الإمام لنفسه وهو معذور فيها لنسيانه. أما أنت فلو قمت وأتيت بركعة بعده لكنت قد زدت ركعة بلا عذر، وهذا يبطل الصلاة. والسئل: إذا صلى الإمام 5 سهوا فما حكم صلاته وصلاة من خلفه؟ وهل يعتد المسبوق بتلك الركعة الزائدة؟ فأجاب فضيلته بقوله: إذا صلى الإمام 5 سهوا فإن صلاته صحيحة، وصلاة من اتبعه في ذلك ساهيا أو جاهلا صحيحة أيضا. وأما من علم بالزيادة فإنه إذا قام الإمام إلى الزائدة وجب عليه أن يجلس ويسلم، لأنه في هذه الحالة يعتقد أن صلاة إمامه باطلة، إلا إذا كان يخشى أن إمامه قام إلى الزائدة لأنه أخل بقراءة الفاتحة مثلا في إحدى الركعات، فحينئذ ينتظر ولا يسلم. وأما بالنسبة للمسبوق الذي دخل مع الإمام في الثانية فما بعدها فإن هذه الركعة الزائدة تحسب له، فإذا دخل مع الإمام في الثانية مثلا سلم مع الإمام الذي زاد ركعة، وإن دخل في الثالثة أتى بركعة بعد سلام الإمام من الزائدة، وذلك لأننا لو قلنا بأن المسبوق لا يعتد بالزائدة للزم من ذلك أن يزيد ركعة عمدا، وهذا موجب لبطلان الصلاة. أما الإمام فهو معذور بالزيادة لأنه كان ناسيا فلا تبطل صلاته. The question says, if the Imam makes a mistake and performs an additional unit, an extra rak'ah, he forgot, something was on his mind, he was stressed, something bothered his mind, and he made an additional rak'ah by accident, causing him to make 5 for dhuhr, or 4 for maghrib, etc., or 3 for Jumu'ah. I came in the masjid late. I caught the Imam praying, and I prayed with him that additional rak'ah. So I came in on the 2nd rak'ah, or the 3rd, and the Imam by mistake made 5, which is going to equal to me missing one, how many? 4. The Imam is only supposed to make 4. He forgot. He stood up to the 5th one. I already came in late. So therefore, instead of me salamming out, when he salams out, everyone say, SubhanAllah, he made a mistake. I prayed with him that additional rak'ah. Is my prayer valid? The answer says, that which is correct, al-qawl al-sahih, says the correct view, wallahu alam, is that your prayer is valid. The one who came in late. And you made the extra rak'ah with the Imam, which would even off the number of rak'ahs that you're supposed to make. He made 5 by accident, which means that you would make 4. It says that which is correct is that the prayer is valid. And the reason why it's valid is that you prayed the number of rak'ah that you were supposed to pray. As far as the Imam, obviously he made a mistake, he forgot, so he's excused, he's pardoned. He's not held responsible for it. And obviously, as long as he fixes that mistake. As soon as he finds out, he sits back down. And if he doesn't realize until the tasneem that he made 5, he makes the sujood as-sahw afterwards. So the Imam is excused, and you have no sin or responsibility upon you to do anything extra, because the only thing that you did was make 4 like you were supposed to, or 3 that you were supposed to, etc. As far as if you didn't count that additional rak'ah, and you made another rak'ah on top of that, then that would mean you added to the prayer. And that will cause your prayer to be invalid. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Next question says, the Imam made 5 raka'at forgetfully, sahwan, he forgot. and he made a 5th additional rak'ah. What is the ruling of his prayer, the Imam, and the prayer of those who are behind him? Are both prayers invalid? The Imam's prayer may be invalid, but it doesn't mean that your prayer is invalid, being behind him. What's the ruling on both? And the one who came late, is he to count that 5th rak'ah? Similar to the previous question, right? The answer states, if and when the Imam makes 5 rak'at, then his prayer is valid, as long as he made the extra rak'ah out of forgetfulness and not intentionally. Obviously, if he made an extra rak'ah intentionally, his prayer will be invalid. It will be no good. But he forgot. Alright? So that's number 1. Number 2, those who are behind him and they made 5 rak'ah because they also forgot or they were ignorant, their prayer is also valid. Moving forward, as far as the one who knows that the Imam stood up to the 5th rak'ah, you know that the Imam is off, then you must sit down. You are not allowed to follow him. You are to sit down and you are to make the taslim. Leave the prayer. If you know in your heart that the Imam is tripping, as we would say, he's bugging out. Wait a second, this is the 5th rak'ah. I'm sure, I know in my heart. The Imam may not know. The Imam forgot. He's doubtful, but you what? You have the yaqeen. You cannot follow the Imam. And you sit down and you leave the salah, he says. And the reason why you do not follow the Imam and you leave the salah is because you realize and you believe in your heart that the Imam's prayer is batila, is false. And it's haram to follow him in something that you believe is what? False. Let's say the Imam's right and you're wrong, but you're required to go off of what you believe. If you're doubtful, I'm not sure, you follow the Imam. But I know for sure that this is the 5th rak'ah. You can't follow the Imam in anything which you believe in your heart is to be false. Alright. The only time that you don't do this, he says, making the salam, is if you believe that the Imam is standing up for the 5th rak'ah because it's something that he missed out on one of the previous 4 rak'at, such as the Fatiha. Reciting the Fatiha is a pillar of the prayer. It's a mandatory act. You have to do it. And if a person, let's go back, let's understand this clearly. Let's say that the Imam, the first rak'ah, he didn't recite the Fatiha. But he didn't remember until the second. The second rak'ah now becomes the what? The first rak'ah. Everyone understand this? If he forgot the Fatiha in the first rak'ah, he realized it in the second rak'ah, the first rak'ah is now what? It's nothing, it's void. And the second rak'ah now becomes the first. If it was the second and he missed it, the third will become the second. Like that. So that's the only time in which you would follow him and making that 5th. If you realized, you think that the Imam is doing that strategically. He's doing it what? Strategically. They said subhanallah, he's still standing. He's doing it strategically. So at that time, you would sit down and you would not make the taslim. Wait for him to come back down. Wait for him to come back down. Moving forward, he then says, as far as the one who's behind the Imam, who enters the prayer on the second rak'ah, or the third, or the fourth, etc., then the additional rak'ah, like we previously explained, counts for you. The additional rak'ah, it counts for you because you came late. Alright. And as far as if he comes to the third rak'ah, and the Imam, he makes the salam after the additional one, then as well. Alright, khairan inshaAllah. So therefore, in brief, both of these fatwa, or these fatwas given by Sheikh Muhammad bin Salih al-Uthaymeen, rahimahullah ta'ala, in brief, A, if you do something extra in the prayer out of forgetfulness, the prayer isn't invalid. And you have to fix it. B, if the Imam does something intentionally wrong, according to what you believe, or unintentionally, and you know that it's wrong, you aren't allowed to follow him, unless you believe that he's doing it strategically. 3, just because the Imam makes an additional rak'ah out of mistake, that doesn't mean that that's your sin or your mistake. because you're masbuk. You already were late. I understand? So that's a benefit for you. Wallahu ta'ala alam.